Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning. It is now 8:05 in the morning, April 5, 2020, and it's Saturday morning. Yeah. Yeah, it's still kind of hazy out there. Yeah, it's my little boy, Lavender. Yeah, I was just doing a quick video and it cut itself off prematurely. So I'm going to do it all over again and just try to pick up the speed so I can get it all in one video. Yeah, this is just an update about how I feel. Uh, I've been feeling anxious. I'm anxious in my chest. And last night I felt like an anxiety attack gonna come on. It's all stress related. I was concerned for a relative of mine, another relative of mine who fever went up last night, and um, I did call the doctor for him uh, just to find out what he should do. Okay, but he texts, the person texts me um, about a half an hour ago, and they're feeling, the fever went down, and they said they're taking, fluids and everything. So I'm happy, but last night, uh, I was, I want to be honest. I'm also doing this to um, document, how I'm feeling during this time living in New York City with the virus scare. And I did go out yesterday to walk my dogs and to document some things, just to confirm what the media says and what reality says. Um, yeah, I want to be informed. Um, I think I was feeling vulnerable because this person that I know is not someone who really gets sick, and this person does do a lot of work in caring for uh, their family members, and um, it would be a deficit if they cannot take care of that other person. And so I think the anxiety of that hit me, and being that that person very rarely ever gets sick, I think psychologically it started to make me feel like, hey, if that person could get sick, I could get sick too. I think in the back of my head that's what must have been going on, because I started to stress, and the frustrations also about um, what happens when people get sick. And I did document, let you guys know. um, Recently, I found out this past Wednesday that a cousin of mine died at home. They had, over the weekend, um, so it would be last weekend, they notified um, what do you call it? Something care. Oh, urgent care. They're all over New York City in our urgent care facility. And she said that she's having trouble breathing. And so guess what the doctor said? Oh, it's just anxiety. Well, she died shortly after that. She was found dead Monday that passed. And I feel my anger rising. And then to find out, and that's also right after my mother. Um, my mother was sent to the doctors on the 30th. So that's just a couple of days prior to my cousin dying. Again, I found out my cousin dying on Wednesday. So it was 2 days. They notified our family 2 days after she died. And most likely won't be a funeral, because they say no gatherings. And so this person, no funeral. I didn't know the person well, but she is my first cousin. Um, and it's unfortunate that happened. So I think my anger started to rise, my anger and frustration with the medical system. New York City medical system is very, very uh, flawed. They're notorious. The nursing staff and some of the doctors. Yeah, I go to the VA hospital. I'm a vet, and the work that I mean, you have some good individuals, but it just seems like lately, um, just a lot of weird things happening with the new type of doctors. They're getting all these exotic doctors, and I feel that they're biased. And I usually don't talk like that, but just a lot of weird things with these new exotic doctors, and I feel that they don't like Americans, and they look down upon you. And so I don't have very high attitudes towards doctors. But some doctors are curing people, And I know that the doctors and, the healthcare people are overworked. I know that. We all know that. And I know that there are patients who are really problematic, the attitude. So I know they have to deal with that, that all things are being said. Yeah, we all know that. So but I take offense when they start taking it out on me, their frustrations or their biases towards certain races or ethnicities of others / myself. So that's where I think my anger is resting upon the medical field today. So here, a relative, I may not have known them well, but you cry out for help, and they just say, "Oh, you just have anxiety." Someone had told me something like that. Um, Someone had told me something like that before when I was a little child, and I said that, please don't leave me home with this person because they're touching me. This person molested me, and I'm crying out for help, and the person who I'm telling to try to help me say, "Oh, you're just sensitive." So, sensitive, anxiety, it sounded like the same to me. It reminded me of that event. And so it sparked my anger. And yeah, so I think that's where my trigger was from with my, hearing about my cousin passing away this past, was notified this past Wednesday, and he died that Monday, 2 days prior, for my getting the message. And then another family member, having the fever was rising. They still have a headache, but at least, the person just texted me that the fever is now down to 99 degrees, and they're feeling better. They still have the headache though, but at least they're feeling better and the fever is going down. So I'm happy about that. I even had a really bad dream also last night. And I know it's all, due to this feeling vulnerable. Yeah, I'm going to try to be quick with this dream. I don't remember the details, but something with these copper plates. It was the shape of of those iPhones, the large iPhones, but it was about 3/4 of an inch thick. It was made out of solid copper, and it had these copper wires, thick wires, or I should say tubules, attached to it. And there was another plate like that, and something with the two plates are used to protect your body from certain, I guess, impulses. But either way, it hit me that this energy something hit me in my center of my chest in the dream, and it hurt me. Yeah, and then I remember I was back in my parents' old, their house, in Queens, New York, and I was looking at the bathroom window, and maybe like 2 or 3 blocks away, I saw a tall light structure. It was like an off-white color, and it was um, roundish in shape. Excuse me, I meant to say cylinder in shape. It was a pale color. And then something hit it from the sky. It zapped it. And then the whole thing collapsed. Yeah. You know what I think that is, folks? That's a phallic symbol. A phallic symbol. And the phallus is the male part, the male anatomy, and the fact that it was a light color. I think it symbolized to me the white race or the light race, and that it no longer has domain over that territory. Oh, wow. It no longer has that territory, domain. And but I watched this from the window in the dream. I think it could have been a lightning bolt, and it went boom, and the whole thing collapsed. I was fearful though when I was watching it. I had fear and anxiety, just like what I have now, that center of my chest. But I think this is actually a good thing, that, see, growing up, I think all what's happening now, it's a change of the guards that's happening in the world today, and in America, and in my hometown where I was raised. Yeah, that phallic symbol was a couple of blocks, it was real big. This is a residential area, so there's no skyscrapers there, but this skyscraper was there. And I looked at it, I think it was hollow in the center of this tubular structure with a lot of windows. Anyway, zap. Yeah, life is changing, and I see that I am changing also. We're all changing. So this is life, and just imagine people during World War II overseas, that they had to deal with bombs happening at the window. People fighter planes, things like that. This never happened on American soil. The last war was the Civil War, and that primarily happened in the South. But here, a place like New York City was never under, modern America was never under war, as we know it, like what happens in Europe or Japan. Okay, so we're fortunate in that aspect, and I hope we never fall into that. But these are the signs of the time, and I'm human also. That's also why I share this. I'm human, even though I call myself Spirit Journey for my channel. I'm human, just like you, and sometimes I get anxiety. But I want us all to be reminded that, this too will pass. And to love your family. When I got the call also a little over a week, yes, it was on the March 30th. Yeah, I think that's a Tuesday. I think that was on a Tuesday. That's when I found out my mother had to go to the hospital. And when I was told, when I was called that she was being sent to the hospital, then I called the house number to really, in essence, to say goodbye to her. The family that was there, getting her ready to go to the hospital, they said she's incoherent. and I was panicking, and I just wanted to say one last goodbye because you can't you can't go visit the hospital, you know. So I thought that and if she doesn't, you know, my mother is 91 years old, and I'm thinking the worst, you know, because she had the cough, I was told, and a fever started. So I said, oh my God, I hope she doesn't have that virus thing. And when they said she was incoherent, and they wouldn't allow me to just say goodbye to her over the phone, I kind of panicked, folks, you know, emotionally. And I said, uh, oh shit, I said to myself. Um, and that's when the anxiety also started again. I thought it would be the last time I saw my mother or speak to her. And I hear her in the background. I said, please, please just put her on the phone. Let me just say goodbye or, you know, something. And they said no. And I said, okay. So I had to be resolute that, you know, this might be the last time that I hear my mom. And they brought her to the hospital, and she was okay, they said. And they sent her home. And I was quite called the next day, you know, and she sounds like her old self. So I'm happy about that. But I didn't know that this other family member that was with her was sick. And if he was sick, that person should have been there. Yeah. So, I see now in all this, I try to hurry up because I know it might cut off soon. I see that when you have older family members, you have to have a backup plan like you have an executor, that take care of their estate and their legal affairs, But what if something happens to them? You're going to need a backup. Who's going to intervene when they cannot do their function? So that has to be discussed quickly, very, very quickly. Okay? Yeah, so that's what I'm learning, that you got elderly family and, you're dealing with the estates, who's going to handle the everyday affairs of that person who, elderly person who can't handle it anymore, manage their affairs. You have to have people who are able to do it, and when they can't do it, someone else. So, yeah, so address matters like this with your loved ones, so there's no surprise. And again, it was a surprise for me that to find out this person was even sick. They withheld it from me. So yeah, this is stressful for everyone, and maybe the person didn't want me to worry, and maybe that's why they didn't tell me. It happens. So yeah, I already told you about the dream. So it's about, I guess, the change of the guards, and you have a system that's in control that is being descaffolded and losing its power. Let's take our power back, people. Let's take back our power. So I think what I'll do today, I'll get dressed, and I'll use my protective gear as you've been seeing. I have when I go out, I go out with my goggles and my face mask. I gotta stay in shape, remove this anxiety. I want to feel good in my body, with or without coronavirus. Stay positive, stay strong, talk to your relatives, try to encourage one another, and if you can help them out, help them out, yeah. So thank you guys for your listening and understanding. Yeah, and stay hydrated. Yeah, thank you guys. Bye bye.